Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us. My name is Robert Wilson and I'm with Australian Food Super. The session today is about Payday Super, what it means for your business, what changes are coming, and most importantly, how Australian Food Super is ensuring our employers are ready. The information in this presentation is general advice only. It does not take into account your specific financial needs, objectives, or circumstances. You should assess your own financial situation and read the relevant Australian Food Super product disclosure statement before making a decision about your superannuation. You may like to seek professional advice from a licensed financial advisor. Australian Food Super members can access simple financial advice at no extra cost by calling our hotline on 1800 808 614. So let's get started. Payday Super reform represents one of the most significant structural changes to superannuation administration in recent years. It shifts super from a quarterly compliance obligation to a payroll-aligned process. At Australian Food Super, we are not waiting for the change to arrive. We are preparing our employers now. Our presentation today will cover what Payday Super is, what are the key changes for employers, what solutions do we provide? I'll run through an employer readiness checklist, and where do you go for support? Currently, employers must pay superannuation guarantee contributions at least quarterly. Starting from 1 July 2026, employers will need to pay their employees superannuation at the same time as their salary and wages. This could be weekly, fortnightly, or monthly. The intent of the reform is to reduce unpaid super, improve retirement outcomes, increase transparency, and strengthen real-time compliance. For employers, this means super becomes embedded in your payroll rhythm, not an end-of-quarter task. If you process payroll weekly, you may move from 4 superannuation payments per year to now 52. This is not a minor change. It impacts systems, processes, approvals, and cash flow. I'll run through some of the key changes for employers. The superannuation guarantee calculation has been updated to be based on a new concept of qualified earnings, otherwise known as QE. In summary, it includes ordinary time earnings, salary sacrifice contributions, and other amounts which are currently included in an employee's salary or wages for SG purposes. A super fund must receive and be able to allocate eligible contributions within 7 business days after payday. There are a few exceptions. The first being the first eligible superannuation guarantee contribution you are making for a new employee or to a new complying superannuation fund for an existing employee after you've stopped making contributions to their old fund. The contribution must be received by the super fund within 20 business days after the relevant QE day in this instance. If your employees' SG contributions are not paid at the same time as their pay and aren't received by their super fund within the time frame for regular pays, 7 days, or 20 days for a new employee or payments to a new complying super fund, you'll be liable for the superannuation guarantee charge, or SGC. The government has also noted the longer the period of non-compliance, the larger the SGC will be. A couple of other changes are that the Small Business Super Clearinghouse will be retired from the 30th of June 2026, and on the same date, Australian Food Super's employer access for making payments just to the employees with Australian Food Super, this will be closing as well. For users of either of these, you will need to consider other options, and at Australian Food Super, we've got a new solution, and I'll run through this on the next slide. Australian Food Super's Payday Super solution is Employer Pay. Employer Pay is a secure payment platform where you can onboard new staff and make Payday Super compliant payments on their behalf to all super funds. For further information and to register, head to ozfoodsuper.com.au and to the Employer Pay section. As part of employer pay, we have a new onboarding tool. The employee onboarding section of employer pay allows you to onboard a new employee through a digital channel to then have this information saved direct to the employer pay clearinghouse, and then this can be uploaded back into your payroll system. You'll see here that there are 3 steps. The first step is to enter in the employee's name, date of birth, and email address. This triggers an email to the new employee for them to start the onboarding process. The new employee receives an email and commences the process using a link in the email. The process can be completed by using a mobile phone. Once the new employee completes step 2, this being confirming and completing personal details, their tax file number, putting in their bank account details, and choosing their super fund. Once this is completed, the employee and the employer receive a notification that the onboarding is complete. This information is then able to be used for superannuation payments through the clearinghouse section of employer pay. As mentioned earlier, it can be then uploaded back into your payroll system. As you can see, this is pretty straightforward and assists you with ensuring you have up-to-date information for new employees, but it can also be used to update existing employees' information. I'll now run through an employer readiness checklist, and this is available on the Payday Super section of our website. You should confirm that your payroll system supports Payday Super. You should then look at reviewing your clearinghouse. As I mentioned, there are 2 that are closing on the 30th of June, the Small Business Super Clearinghouse and our Employer Access solution. For us, as I mentioned, Employer Pay is available and it's compliant and it's got the new onboarding tool. You should also look at mapping your pay cycles and reviewing your cash flow, review internal reporting, reconciliations and procedures. Be sure to undertake testing as early as possible. Update any employment contracts to reflect changes in superannuation payment timing, and then brief and train payroll staff, and then of course notify your employees. At Australian Food Super, we are always here to assist our employers and our members. There are various ways you can seek support during this time. The first is through the Payday Super section of the Australian Food Super website, where we've got our fact sheet and also some updated web pages on employer pay and how they can be used as a solution. You've also got our contact centre number, and as part of employer pay, we've got our contact centre number through SuperChoice, where they can assist you as to the actual use of employer pay. You've also got access to our client service managers as part of our client service team, and their details can be found at our website in the Contact Us page. For more information about the changes for Payday Super, you can also head to the ATO website. Well, that's the end of our webinar today. Thanks very much for your time. Should you have any questions, please head to the Australian Food Super website.